Hello and welcome. This short guide has been put together to support students who are running in the student officer elections. Running in an election can feel exciting but also a little bit overwhelming, especially if you've never done anything like this before. This guide will walk you through the basics of turning your manifesto into a clear, positive campaign that helps students to understand who you are and what you stand for. We'll cover how to focus your message, planning your campaigning, talking to students confidently, and promoting yourself in a way that is respectful and in line with election rules. You don't need to be loud, confident, or experienced to run a good campaign. What matters most is being clear, genuine, and focused on improving student experience. The manifesto that you wrote when you nominated yourself is the foundation of your campaign. It explains who you are, what role you are running for, and what changes you want to make if you're elected. When campaigning, you don't need to talk about everything in your manifesto, as this will be available for students to read anyway. Instead, just focus on 2 or 3 key priorities that matter most to students. These priorities should guide your conversations, your social media posts, and any campaign materials that you create. Starting with your manifesto also helps to keep your campaign clear and consistent. If you're ever unsure what to say, you can always refer back to your manifesto. A clear manifesto-based campaign makes it easier for students to understand what you stand for and helps them to remember you when it comes to voting. Defining your message means deciding what you want students to remember about you when they hear your name. Students will often only hear a small part of your campaign, so your message needs to be simple, clear, and consistent. Try to avoid using jargon and long explanations. Focus on what the change means for students. A clear message helps you to feel more confident when campaigning. If you're clear on your messaging, you'll be more confident when delivering it, and as a result, students will be able to quickly understand who you are, what you're running for, and why they might want to vote for you. Knowing your voters means understanding that students are not all the same, and different groups may care about different things. Around 20% of the student population here at Bangor will get involved in the vote. This means that for every 5 people you speak to, only 1 of them is likely to vote. When you're campaigning, think about who you're speaking to and what matters to them. A commuter student, an international student, and a student living in halls may all have differing priorities and experiences. Campaigning isn't just about talking, it's about listening too. When students share their concerns or experiences, take the time to listen and explain how your campaign connects to what they care about. When students feel heard, they're more likely to engage with your campaign and remember your message. Making your campaign relevant to a wide range of students can make a real difference. Planning your campaign will help you to use your time and energy effectively. Start by thinking about where and when you're most likely to reach students. This might be a busy area on campus, times before or after lectures, or online spaces where students are already active. Use a mix of methods to share your message. This could include talking to students in person, using social media, putting up posters, or attending club and society events. Different students engage in different ways, so having a variety of different engagement methods can help you to reach more people. It's also important to manage your time carefully. Plan your campaigning around lectures, work, and other commitments so that it stays realistic and sustainable for you. A well-planned campaign doesn't have to be constant, just thoughtful and consistent. An elevator pitch is a short, clear way of explaining who you are, what role you are running for, and what you stand for. It's called an elevator pitch because, in theory, you should be able to say it whilst travelling in an elevator. While campaigning, you might find that students are often busy and may only have a few seconds to talk with you. An elevator pitch helps you to introduce yourself confidently and get your main message across quickly. Your elevator pitch should include your name, role, 1 or 2 key priorities, and why that change matters to students. The aim is to spark interest, so it doesn't have to include everything. It's a good idea to practice your elevator pitch so that it feels natural rather than scripted. Once you're comfortable with it, you can adapt it slightly depending on who you're speaking to while keeping the core message the same. Campaigning doesn't have to be done alone. Building a small support team can make campaigning more manageable and less stressful. This could include friends and classmates who are willing to share your message, remind students to vote, and they can also be there to support you on busy days. Different people have different strengths. Some might be confident in talking to others, while others might be good at organising, designing content, or helping behind the scenes. Using a mix of strengths can help make your campaign more effective. It's important that anyone helping you understands and follows the election rules. Your supporters represent you, so make sure campaigning is always positive, respectful, and fair. Promoting yourself is an important part of your campaign, but it should always be done in a respectful and positive way. Think about how students are most likely to see and engage with your campaign. This could include speaking to students in person, posting on social media, putting up posters, or attending events. Using a mix of online and in-person methods can help you to reach a wider range of students. Not everyone engages in the same way, so having a variety of different methods can make your campaign more effective. When promoting yourself, focus on your ideas and what you want to improve, rather than comparing yourself to other candidates. Encouraging students to vote is a key part of campaigning, especially once voting has opened. Many students don't vote simply because they forget or aren't sure how the process works. You can help by reminding them when voting is happening and explaining clearly how and where they can vote. It's important to encourage participation without putting pressure on anyone. Campaigning should always be respectful, and students should feel comfortable in engaging but also choosing not to engage as well. Even small reminders can make a big difference. By helping students to understand the voting process, you're supporting a fair and accessible election for everyone. Campaigning can be exciting, but it can also be tiring, especially when you're balancing it with lectures, work, and other commitments. So one of the most important tips is to look after yourself. Make sure you take breaks, rest when you need to, and give yourself time off from campaigning. Taking care of your well-being will help you to stay positive and focused throughout the election period. It's also important to not compare what you're doing to any other candidate. Just because it's working for them doesn't mean that it's going to work for you. Use your time wisely. You don't need to campaign constantly. Think about when and where your time will have the most impact, like busy times on campus or key points during the voting period. Short, well-planned conversations can be more effective than long days with very little engagement. Another common challenge is only campaigning to the same students, such as friends or people that you already know. While it's great to have their support, try to reach out beyond that. Campaign in different places at different times and use a mix of methods to connect with a wide range of students. If you need help at any point, don't be afraid to ask. This might be for advice on campaigning rules, managing your time, or getting your message across clearly. The Student Voice team are always available during campaigning to help, and asking early can prevent issues later on. Finally, be yourself and keep your campaign positive. Focus on your ideas, your manifesto, and what you want to improve for students. A respectful, genuine campaign leaves a strong impression and reflects well on you. Before you start campaigning, remember that there's not a single right way to run an election campaign. Everyone is different and will choose to do things differently. The strongest campaigns are clear, positive, and focused on listening to students as much as speaking to them, all while staying true to you and what you stand for. Use your manifesto as your foundation, keep your message simple, and don't be afraid to start conversations. Make sure to look after yourself during the campaigning and election period. Balance campaigning with your studies and always campaign respectfully and within the rules. Most importantly, well done for running in the election. Good luck with your campaign, and thank you for helping to grow Undeb Bangor.